Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Back Garden Yard. Now today it's late July and we are going to plant sweet potatoes. That's right, sweet potatoes for an October harvest. Now, how do you grow sweet potatoes? Well, the first thing you do is you take one of those sweet potatoes you've got in the house that's sprouted and you just put it in the ground and you let it grow. So when your sweet potato turns like this and it comes out and it just sprouts, what you can do is you can probably just cut off this end. You can still eat the rest of the sweet potato because it hasn't rotted. And then you plant this part in the ground and just stick it in the ground and water it every day for a few days. And it will turn into this. Just running vines all over, and those are the vines that you use then to transplant and get your crop of sweet potatoes. Then when those little plants come up and start spreading, then you harvest those, and I'll show you the magic that happens when you cut those up and put them into the ground. So let's go look at sweet potatoes. So what I've got here is where I planted some sweet potatoes that were sprouting, and they've taken off and they've come out. So what we need to do is we're going to prepare these for transplanting. What you do is you get one that's got the nice growing end. So you can see, if you take a piece that's about a foot long and cut it, then you've got all these little side shoots that are coming out and we'll make a plant. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just trim the leaves off the last few inches, and we want to leave at least 2 or 3 leaves, and we're going to take that and put it down in some rainwater, and then we're going to repeat this process. You can literally take the rest of it here. And on this one, you can see where I pulled up out of the dirt, it has a root. So we're going to take this root and leave it on the very back of this one. And then we're going to cut these off. And we're going to leave 2 leaves, put this in some rainwater. So long it will hardly fit. So in that case, we're going to go ahead and cut off the top here and just leave the 1 leaf. Okay, we're going to continue. We're going to continue this process until we have a whole bucket full of plants ready to transplant. As you can see, there's a few little roots under these where they've tried to root coming out. And we're going to cut those off, leave that, put it in the bucket. And so I will continue this process with the camera off, and I'll cut it back on when we're ready. It's just literally take this ground and make a row of loose soil. It rained a lot yesterday, so this makes it pretty easy. And then, as you can see, the sweet potatoes will make a very nice, root down in this loose soil. And the main reason I'm planting the sweet potatoes is my wife likes to eat the stems. She likes to take the leaves and break off the stem and boil those, put some spices on them, and they taste kind of like asparagus. And she wants me to grow them mainly for the stems. So that's what I'm doing this late in July, planting sweet potatoes. Yes, in October, I will be able to dig some sweet potatoes out of this. So there's my mound, and I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest. I'll cut the camera off, and I'll come back when we start planting. Okay, so we've got it prepared. All the soil is prepared here, and now we've got our prepared transplant. So we're going to take one like this, and we're literally just going to push it down into the loose soil as far as it'll go. And then we're going to cover it up like that. We're going to do the next one, and you want to do these only 3 or 4 inches apart. As far as it'll go, cover it up. Okay, here's the next one. Cover it up. Continuing. This one has no roots on it at all. Maybe some little starters there, but it's got a nice little plant coming out. So I'm going to take this whole one and just kind of open it up and bury it like that. Okay. And we'll move it on down. Same thing with this one, since it's got a root starting. Just going to kind of open it up, put it down in there. Okay, so that is all. Now, it's most important, as soon as you get them planted, to water them. It's also most important to have them planted in the afternoon, so that they have the first night without the hot July sun to wilt them. And since the soil is wet, it's not going to take a whole lot of water. Okay. So I'll leave the hose here because one thing you need to do is you need to make sure that for the first 2 or 3 days, you come out and you water them again as soon as you see them getting a little bit dried off, and especially every evening. So I'll probably come out and water these again in the morning, and then I'll water them again tomorrow evening for sure, just like that. And I'll probably go ahead and plant the other 2 rows tomorrow. And what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to continue it for several days until you can actually see these take off and start growing. So this will be a delayed video, and we will be back. Okay, so this is day 2 after planting these sweet potatoes, and as you can see, they still seem to look alive, but you can see also that some of the leaves are not looking too good. This particular one is looking really bad, but we're going to leave it and see what happens. When you transplant them like this, a lot of times not every one of them will make, but all in all, they're looking pretty good. So I'm going to set the camera back up and water right quick, and we'll come back tomorrow. So here we are today at day 3 of the sweet potato planting, and as we can see, it appears plants must be rooting down there, because at this point almost every one of them is standing up. Even this one that had all the leaves flat on the ground, now they are standing up. So what we're looking for is the growth to start right out here. So here we are back day 4. This is the 4th day after we transplanted these sweet potatoes, and as you can see, they have all picked up, and now the leaves have come up off the ground, and the ones that were on the ground have come off the ground, and you can see new growth coming from the ends of these plants. They look very healthy, and the transplanting was a success. So let's move in and take a look at some of these, and you can see how they have survived transplant and are now growing. So this little plant here was looking bad at the end of day 1, but if you come on down and look at it, you can see where the new growth is shot out of the end. Now when we dig for sweet potatoes in October, what will happen is only under where they're planted will you get the new sweet potatoes. These sweet potato vines will cover this entire area, and they'll make leaves and vines, but only where they're actually stuck into the ground will you get the sweet potatoes. So if you can see here, once again, it has started growing, and that's what the whole purpose of this was. So this one here is growing from the end, and you can see just how nice and healthy it looks. And even this one here that looked like it was going to die, now you can see the new growth coming right out of here. And so so far it doesn't look like I lost any of these transplants. This one is super healthy here. Coming back to the next area, this one is super healthy, and this one is just growing away. So anyway, I think you get the idea on these sweet potatoes. So what I've got to do is I've got to water them again and just keep them watered. I won't have to water them daily now, maybe every other day, just when they get dry. But I'm gonna water them once again today since I'm out here, and probably show a harvest video in October when we decide to pick them. In the meantime, what my wife likes to do is take these stems like this when they get a lot of them and peel them and then boil them and eat the stems. And so that's fine. I will also eat those. She's got a good way of cooking those. And so now it's sweet potatoes day 6. And as we can see, all the plants obviously have got roots because they are really starting to grow. And you can see even one like this, it was just kind of stuck in the ground. The end is now running. This one, the leaves were down, but now you can see the new growth is coming right here. And so they're all, here's one that the first leaf is laying down, but the new growth has popped right out here. And we've got a new plant, a new runner. So it appears that every one of them has lived, and they're all going to run, and the new potatoes will come right here, right under where the plants are coming out of the ground. So what I'll have to do is in October I'll come back and I'll dig all this up, and when I dig it up, in this mound here, in this mound is where all the potatoes will be, and then in this mound will be the other potatoes. So that's the way you grow the sweet potatoes. And if you like content like this, please like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next video.